common topic that I see on scuba diving social media is new divers who are nervous about their training dives, which is understandable. And even some divers feel anxious about any dive, but is that such a bad thing? Hi all of you awesome scuba divers out there, welcome to the Scuba Diver Magazine channel, your favourite place for the latest scuba diving news and gear reviews. Yeah, I'll always remember a conversation between my teaching assistant, the chap that I was teaching with, and one of our students at the time who was feeling a bit anxious before a dive, and he effectively said that the professional, the instructor, said that he always feels nervous before a dive and how that was actually a good thing and perfectly normal. But if you're looking for backup when things don't go to plan, then the Divers Alert Network is diving's 24/7 safety net. Their emergency hotline connects you with dive medicine experts anytime, anywhere, and they can coordinate care, referrals to dive-savvy physicians, and even evacuations when needed. It's calm, expert help in the moment that you need it the most. Dan also makes the messy part simple if an accident happens. Their dive accident insurance is designed specifically for dive-related injuries that ordinary health policies often miss, and membership provides access to emergency transportation coordination and other benefits, two offerings that work together to protect you before, during, and after the dive. What sets Dan apart is the science behind the safety. For decades, they've run landmark studies like Project Dive Exploration, collecting real-world dive computer profiles to understand decompression risk. They publish the annual diving report and maintain ongoing instant reporting, so lessons from accidents turn into smarter, safer diving for everyone. Current research even stretches into free diving, tracking venous gas emboli and decompression illness patterns as athletes go deeper and longer. When you join up with Dan, you're directly funding the research that makes our sport safer. And because prevention beats treatment, Dan trains divers and crews in the skills that save lives. I myself have a Dan qualification, like emergency oxygen provider for diving injuries, basic life support, CPR, neurological checks, and first aid for hazardous marine life. So help starts on the boat, not just at the hospital. But bottom line is that Dan is the calm voice on the line, the research engine behind safer practices, and the training and cover that let you focus on the dive. It's not the kind of what ifs, so join before your next dive. So the first thing about feeling nervous on a dive is that you're not alone in those feelings, and it's completely natural. It's very common for all divers, even for experienced divers, to feel some kind of apprehension before a dive. This isn't about being like bad at diving if you're having these feelings. If you feel nervous before a dive, it doesn't mean that you're a bad diver. It's probably just your natural survival instinct kind of kicking in, because it knows that you're planning on jumping into this deep water wearing all of this heavy equipment. I'd be a little surprised if someone didn't have that kind of feeling in the back of their mind. If you are feeling something, then the first thing is to kind of share it. Scuba diving is a social experience, and if you share what you're worrying or what's worrying you, then like a certain part of the dive, I'm a bit worried about this penetration point or whatever it is, that could cue another diver who was also nervous about the current, the entry, the exit, whatever it is, only they're less confident to share it. You can be the brave one, as it were, to kind of speak up, and now you can amend the dive plan, or like check your dive gear more thoroughly, or do whatever it is to help amend what might be, because you might not be the only one who's having doubts about this particular part of the dive. The best thing that you can do about feeling nervous is to just talk about it honestly. If you have talked about it with someone and that feeling is kind of coming back when you're getting kitted up or something, then there are some exercises that you can do to kind of fool your body into calming down. So introduce simple breathing exercises like box breathing right before the dive. Box breathing is breathing in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, and then hold on an empty lungful for 4 seconds, and then repeat. Box breathing helps to activate the body's like rest and digest parasympathetic nervous system. It lowers your stress and your anxiety levels. It is kind of, yeah, finding a hack for your body, but yeah, controlling your breathing and box breathing. So in for 4, you can do it for 3 seconds, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, whatever it is. But yeah, box breathing helps to kind of fool your body into calming itself down. I also sometimes find myself holding tension like in my shoulders without me knowing, which I can kind of consciously let go of. So whilst I'm sat on the bench, I'm sort of all kitted up and whatnot, I'll kind of run down my body, like checking on like my jaw, make sure I'm relaxing my jaw, relaxing my shoulders, my legs, wherever you find that kind of tense muscles that you're not really thinking about, but it is kind of there. You can kind of let it go whilst you're having your breathing. Be conscious of anywhere that you're holding any kind of tension in your body. Just let that go before that tension like becomes cramp or worse. But yeah, just go through a head to toe basically whilst you're having a nice calm breathe, just relaxing your body, shaking it all off and kind of getting pumped up for the dive. Fortune favours the prepared. Explore the benefits of a consistent pre-dive routine, from reviewing the dive plan, the dive site, the conditions and everything, to setting up and testing your dive gear. Personally, I usually start with a stretch. I've reached that age where my body can't just get up and go without properly stretching, so I like to have a good stretch before a dive. When I'm setting up my gear, I'll run through like top to bottom of myself, so going through like hood and mask and all that kind of stuff, making sure everything's where I need it, going through every part of my gear, just kind of looking for damage and ensuring proper function to make sure that yes, the cylinder is turned on and yes, this second stage works, the inflator works, everything works. Now, then you go on to your pre-dive checks with your buddy. I know the pre-dive checks can kind of seem lame at first and tedious after a while because you're doing the same thing again and again, but they do eliminate a large number of potential equipment failures. By following a routine before every single dive, it will help to build confidence, and it's just one fewer things for you to like be worrying about. You know that you've looked over your gear because you do it every single time. You know about the dive site, you know about the dive conditions because you've already checked it, and you've checked your buddy's dive gear. You've checked that everything's all in working order. So kind of come up with like almost a script. I know all the different training agencies have their like BWRAF and acronyms and all that kind of stuff. Build that. Kind of build your own if you want. Just get a blank slate and literally write down everything that you want to do in order, and then just run through that before the dive, and that way you know you're kind of building up that confidence, that foundation that yeah, I'm really prepared for this dive because I've been through my checklist, everything's working, I'm fully clued up, let's go. Recognize what is giving you the anxiety and build confidence in that area. If you're worried about equipment failure, then invest in your own equipment. Learn how it works so that you know when it was last serviced, you know it's in full functioning order, and what it feels like when it's working, so that when it does start to act a little bit weird, you know it's acting unusually and you know to pay attention to it. If they're rental regulators, that's the first you've ever seen, let alone used them. So this might just be what they're used to, but actually they could be failing. So if you have your own dive equipment, you know it's maintained and you know what it normally works like. If you're worried about like rough conditions in the sea, then just start gently. Don't go into like a force 10 gale or whatever. Go diving in some like controlled environments like a lake, or just something with really controlled environments, and then opt for a shore dive when the weather is nice, so you can build up to more rougher seas. Whatever it is that's like getting to you in the back of your mind, recognize what it is and try to spend some time gradually acclimatizing yourself to it to build confidence. Don't literally jump in at the deep end, just kind of build it up slow so you have that strong foundation, and then you can build up to what's actually causing that anxiety. It all starts really early in the lead up to the dive. Make sure that your dive gear is in good working order, it's all serviced, it's all packed in the bag, and that of course includes your body. You've got to make sure that's in good working order. Make sure that you're well rested before the dive, you're well hydrated, you're fed as well, your body has everything that it needs to be in tip-top conditions. And if you have any health concerns, then of course get them checked out. If you're worried about anything medical related to diving, then of course ask the Divers Alert Network. You can pop them a message and they'll get back to you. But if you take anything away from this video, if you're feeling nervous before a dive, it isn't because you're a bad diver. Most divers have some kind of nerves before a dive, and it's natural. Try to recognize what is causing it and gradually work your way up to what you're worried about it. But yeah, box breathing definitely helps to control your breathing and kind of rewire your brain so that your parasympathetic nervous system can start to relax a bit and then get on with the job at hand. But remember to head over to the Divers Alert Network website after this video by clicking on this link, and remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you found this video useful, and let us know if you have any ways that that help yourself calm down before the dive in the comment section so that others can maybe get some tips or tricks. Thank you for watching everybody, and of course, safe diving.